Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are, game number 2. Vega Squadron versus VGJ.Storm here in this best-of-2 series. So no matter what, going to be done, moving on to the next one after this. But Storm is up 1-0 here in the round-robin format of the MDL major event that is currently happening over there in China. So looking forward to more solid games coming at us. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Trent once again as my co-caster. And we got a first pick Beastmaster that's happening from Vega Squadron. So already a little bit different draft coming out.
What a hero.
Yes.
Yeah, surprised he was not banned in the first phase or picked in the first phase last game, and he was taken out in the second, so
10 seconds
we'll get
remaining.
scooped up this time. Any heroes that we won't be seeing? We still have the Doom in play, so
remaining.
yeah, other than that, we have all the same bans. We got the Clockwork, okay, removed instead of the Keeper of the Light, so maybe Vega going to grab up that duo if it's not picked up here from VGJ.Storm, I would imagine.
Do they go Morphling again? I mean, they first picked it last game. It's Storm.
I think if they're going to pick it, they're going to go the Morph and the Warlock for sure, but do you really want to try Morph Warlock against Coddle Beastmaster? Oh, maybe someone quite not as squishy as the Morphling? They definitely want the Warlock, because it is an aggro dual lane. I mean, it's Beastmaster. It's coming. You know it.
Yeah.
Will they commit for the Morphling too? That's an interesting question.
So is that the rise of Warlock, you think, all of a sudden? Is it because of these aggressive dual lanes just being so, popular in the scene lately?
Yeah, definitely. I think,
10 seconds
I mean, in
remaining.
combination with the fact that he's also very good with those changes that we discussed earlier about, like, everyone's just so
5
much tankier.
seconds remaining.
Warlock is also very good there with the Fatal Bonds, right?
Yeah.
Just more HP with that shared damage. It's pretty brutal.
Dire team
So it certainly doesn't hurt to have that going on. And they'll just grab the Axe for now, and then they pick the Lifestealer into the Axe.
Radiant
So
team
2 BKB piercing abilities right now from VGJ.Storm.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because that's why I went, like that was meant to be that reaction of Snap picking a Lifestealer into an Axe second pick. It doesn't necessarily feel the strongest, and yeah, they technically have Chaotic Offering as well, so maybe not as concerned, but still.
10 seconds
Point is there.
remaining.
That it feels like to me it's a case of Vega Squadron's
5
like, we don't
seconds
really care
remaining.
what you pick. We have an idea in mind as far as what we want to do, but yeah, a Beastmaster into a Lifestealer opening, that's kind of odd because they don't have either one of their supports yet, and
Dire
usually
team
you want to
back.
at least get one of
Radiant
those
team back.
in your first
and
two.
they'll lose the Coddle because of it, as we said. So they obviously didn't want that because they would have known it would be banned. But Vega, they have done exceptionally well in the Lifestealer in the past. It's been their thing. It's been first banned against them. If you look back through their drafts, like this is last game it was not banned, but in both their games versus LGD, it was first phase banned. Going back a month ago, the last time they were even playing officials, it was banned first phase, both their games. And that
remaining.
trend continues for the past, 2 months, basically, where it's just been, first phase
5
banned
seconds
virtually every
remaining.
single game, or they would pick it up. And when they do get their hands on it, they tend to do fairly
Radiant
well,
team
maybe
picked.
scoring a little bit above their bracket, winning some games. So they have some confidence in the hero.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how much confidence they have and how much it works out here. Palantimos, solid player, of course, going to be the one playing it, you'd guess, but
Yeah.
third pick now for VGJ.Storm after the Coddle, and then a Death Prophet ban coming out for them. Slark Morphling taken away
10 seconds remaining.
from Vega on the other side. Yeah, Slark's been a fun hero. That's made quite the
5
resurgence lately as
seconds
well,
remaining.
as far as core goes. Not going to see him here, though. So what are they third
So I wonder if we'll get another tough
Dire
carry
team
here for this Warlock to help out. A Spiritbreaker first again. Here's Snappy. We got 3 heroes to control this Lifestealer.
Exactly. That's the game plan. Hey, it's the main core. Unless they wouldn't it be something out Vega's like, all right, you know what? Let's go ahead and make it a support Lifestealer. I don't know how you could do that, but
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Honestly, the old Havost offlane Lifestealer.
10
Yeah.
seconds
The play
remaining.
at this point, honestly. But yeah, he's looking to have a pretty rough game.
5
But if he gets the
seconds
Radiance, he
remaining.
gets the Solar Crest,
Radiant
maybe he can
team
still be relevant in this match. Witch Doctor, eh? Okay. Someone to try and help this Lifestealer. Not the best instant cancel for a Spirit Breaker or something like that, so the charges are still looking okay.
yeah.
I kind of like a PL this game for VGJ.
Yeah, even I guess against Lifestealer, he's not really concerned either. I mean, the Radiance could hurt, but
10
overall,
seconds remaining.
it is a lot of single target right now from Vega.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick my core, that'd be a pretty good answer. Maybe, or at least my position 1. Maybe they'll find like a flexible hero. They could consider the troll here, someone who could go mid. I know Vega has run the Lifestealer mid before, so they could just grab the troll here, see the next 2 picks from Vega, and then just put that troll in the safe lane or the mid lane, depending on where they think the Lifestealer is going.
I'm going to think about this. SVG, of course, the captain of the team. And, you know, I know a lot of people obviously play. It's definitely a big part of it, too, picking up resolution and everything. This roster's definitely come together nicely. But SVG as a captain, though, he's clearly proven that he's not only a great leader, but a great drafter on top of that. And I think he's going to be the strongest point for this team moving forward if they do continue to have success in the competitive scene. And right now, they're looking like a team, especially out of the NA region, that's going to be one to look out for. With the
every event that you'd go to when he was coaching for EG, he was just like he was always in the room watching the games. Even when like EG wasn't playing or something, if maybe EG's in a scrim, he'll like duck out of that, kind of like watch one of the games, and just always taking notes. Very involved. I think he learned a lot. He coached them for a long time. It was like a full year straight of just. He started with the TI, and I think he coached the whole year, and then went to the next TI with them. So he certainly learned a lot during that, and obviously wanted to get back into playing. So I think he's like the ideal person that I would want to build a team around in the NA region. And I know that Jack felt the same way about snaking. So I think they're very happy with the roster. Obviously, things have been going well so far for them.
Yeah, it's been quite the rocky ride for this organization. It's Jack as the managers are getting at, but they've definitely it's kind of paid off in the later part for sure. Terrorblade, okay, Terrorblade coming out for VGJ.Storm as their
really
fourth
like
pick.
that. Took a while. They considering a lot of different options here, but I think that fits the same way with the troll, where it can go both ways, right? It can lane mid versus the Lifestealer if they think that's what they're going to end up doing from Vega Squadron, or it can be someone who you just kind of, as you said before, low HP, right? Like the Morphling, so that heal is super effective, but he naturally has this insane amount of armor. So it's a lot of physical damage from Vega Squadron right now, but that heal is just going to be absurd because of the damage mitigation that Terrorblade has for every single right click in the lane. He's going to feel like kind of invincible, even though he's a squishy hero, just from these constant heals from the Warlock.
Yeah. Jakiro definitely a solid support option for Vega Squadron for a couple of reasons. Liquid Fire is going to be annoying to deal with, but also the Ice Path is a decent answer to maybe the Spirit Breaker coming in or the Axe Initiation. So what they're feeling here at least. And again, they picked it quickly. The reserve, Vega Squadrons, I go back to, they're confident with their draft. They clearly had an idea going in because they've used barely any reserve time on their side. So we'll see what that final pick ends up being. But the final ban of a Sand King for VGJ.Storm.
10 seconds remaining.
These guys definitely play a ton of core Jakiro.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. That's kind of, I would expect this to be for Undershock.
Really? Okay. I know I've seen like the off-lane Jakiro, but a mid Jakiro even?
Yeah, it depends though. They might, I think it'll depend on matchups again, right? Like it just gives them a little bit of lane flexibility.
Earth Shaker.
And then back for the Shaker. So.
Yeah, and Storm clearly knows that with the Sand King ban. Like they're pretty much almost expecting a Jakiro core, and now with the Earth Shaker pickup, you can guarantee that as you're getting at. So interesting. Earth Shaker final pick. So now knowing that you're going up against a mid Jakiro, not your typical. Here, is Viper still on the board? He's still there.
10 seconds remaining.
Resolution Viper again?
Yeah,
5
that's
seconds
not
remaining.
terrible. What kind of ganking problems do we have right now? You basically have like a Fissure into an Ice Path into follow-up spells. So yeah, it'll be the
Choose
Reso
your
Viper.
hero.
Because it is a bit dangerous. It's kind of reminiscent of the Clockwork last game in terms of like the pressure that can come onto that mid hero. You would want someone a little bit tanky in there because you can get done in by a Fissure from the fog.
Mm-hmm.
No real reason not to go for the old Vipesky.
Exactly. Resolution just got finished playing at the previous game. Obviously did fairly well, so no reason not to once again. I'm looking forward to this act. This is a hero I'm glad to kind of see back in the competitive meta. Entertaining, to say the least, when it comes to his slam dunks, as they're fun to call in those team fights. But Snake King, of course, going to be playing him here. And yeah, it goes back to the fact that they picked up Lifestealer into the axe, so he's already got that great matchup there. Is Axe set up to have a pretty good laning phase, you think, in this game, or will the Witch Doctor be an issue?
I'm not sure how it's going to look with the the Warlock and the Spirit Breaker. I wonder how they're going to do this. Like, what kind of pressure right now is coming out from the Beastmaster? There's not really much. Like, you might just send the Terrorblade into safe lane and put the Warlock up with the Axe to start with. Because what are they going to do up against the Terrorblade right now? Are they going to, like, try and aggro into you?
Yeah, and if
and in that case,
then
your
you
Axe is
react.
just going to get a free lane versus a Beastmaster?
True. Well, that's a good point, actually. We'll see what Storm really decides to do.
Because we've talked so much about Beastmaster aggro lanes, but Earthshaker is not a support that facilitates that and creates those kind of moments. So I'm not sure what the plan is here.
Right,
It
so
almost feels like, are they going to
prepare for
try lane with the Beastmaster the whole time? I mean, they might start there. Like we typically see the 5 like rotate down with the 4 and the 3, try and create an opportunity on the first wave, and then TP up top to help their carry.
I'm gonna say, I suppose you could. We've seen also the aggressive Terrorblade even, but no, he is going to the safe lane. It is going to be the Axe and the Spirit Breaker up here, at least initially. And we see, can't take too much just yet. We'll see how they fight for the early bounty runes. You know, early bounty runes is kind of interesting now too when you think about it, because the idea that they don't then spawn again until the 5-minute mark. Is it that much more important to kind of get a third bounty rune early on? You think, or is it kind of still the same idea?
No, I think they're still kind of the same value. They're not that ridiculous at the start of the game. I mean, unless you get like all
30
4 or
seconds to
something,
battle.
I guess it's kind of crazy in terms of just like getting some extra regen. But
No.
realistically, I think most teams are still happy just doing the classic trade for 2 situation.
God, this is really a thing. Like, I know we were kind of talking about this last game, but triple mango on Witch Doctor, that's a build. It's a start.
I mean, his HP regen's now 3.6. These aggro dual lanes, again, it's just this idea of having the constant regen. I mean, you're always trading back and forth. You kind of use your HP pool as a mana pool. Like, if you're not regenning health, you're wasting these 3 mangoes. So you should be trading right clicks whenever you're at full HP. I don't know. It's something you do a lot when you play like Ogre or Nyx Assassin, but mangoes kind of let you do it on other heroes too.
Okay, so we are going to see the aggressive Terrorblade. Snaking, he makes his way to the bottom lane, realizing what's going on, and a curious start here as the Fissure Block comes out from Earthshaker, of course. That's a charge in, by the way. Zayak all of a sudden going to realize that with the Battle Hunger up. But Snaking, of course, going Battle Hunger level 1, no counter Helix to take advantage of, and can't necessarily just pursue him the whole way. But yeah, it seems like Storm, they kind of reacted to what Vega Squadron was doing, and you see right away he's already popped his Metamorphosis, and he's going at it at the top lane.
I see no gold.
Yeah, I don't really know what Zayats is going to do this game. Fissuring mid, I think, is his best chance at creating kill opportunities. Once there's some spells onto Undershock, sure. But, like,
Dire's structures
what
are fortified.
does Shaker offer for you? You think about this guy getting a Blink Dagger and echoing into some of these heroes. You got a Viper, a Spirit Breaker, and an Axe. Like, dude, what is Echo's going to, like, tickle them?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like this amazing Earthshaker game where you're catching out this Ember Spirit over and over, or this Morphling, or somebody's trying to split push by themselves, you know? Like, his big target's just going to be Yawar, and I guess if he can successfully bring him down every time, that's going to be good, but not the easiest game for a Shaker, I don't think.
Well, he's trying to be useful. He's been at all 3 lanes now as he comes to the top lane. This is very potentially first blood, isn't it? SVG, there's that Fissure Block, and give it to Lifestealer. Try to, at least. Maledict may finish him off. Yeah. Team effort right there coming out for Vega Squadron. So, you know, split that bounty up, and first blood indeed coming out. So, there you go. Rotating early on, and like I said, it went to the middle lane, then found himself at the top lane. So he's just going to be moving a lot in this early laning phase. Is the game plan. Oh, they have a ward here, so.
Yawar is likely to get quite a bit of farm up here, though. And this is the, I think EG, I would say, probably the team that pioneered this the most. Just playing Radiant all the time and just doing dual off lane with your core and your support. Arteezy basically lives in this lane, and they're always able to keep the creep wave just right here. And he just never has a problem. Like, how do you gank this area? It is so difficult. I mean, you saw that play right there with a Fissure. That's a pretty long-reaching support who's able to do that. Most supports can't offer that opportunity. Maybe another good reason to have him here, but
Yeah.
overall, Yawar's going to have a very good time.
Yeah, I will say, I did notice the first Metamorphosis. Yawar only was 1-3 after it as it wore off, and Lifesteal was 3-0 at the time, I think. So that first Metamorphosis, maybe not getting as much out of it as he hoped for. But right now, you do see it picking up a bit. Warlock continues to spam those heals. Spearbreaker, he was harassing that Earthshaker up at the top lane. Now he's charging mid, but he was seen doing this clearly. And MSS will back off before connecting.
Just dance his way away there.
Yeah, love it. Good old taunts. Snaking, though, I assume he's having a good time bottom. Yeah, 16-6 against a 5-0, now 6-0 Beastmaster. But this Axe, he is essentially getting free farm. And, you know, you've definitely seen, especially lately with the Axe kind of coming back into the meadow again. Is actually, this is dangerous. If he gets the counter, he spins, he gets a couple back-to-back. This is a third, and they're just going like crazy. He needs another one for the kill. No, he cannot get the double kill. He'll back off and clear the creep wave. The tower, though, is going to kill him in return. So he went from getting really lucky to a little bit unlucky, but yeah, I guess that's how it works.
That's like 5 things attacking him, and he couldn't get that one last proc. Oh.
It's like on cooldown, it felt like.
Yeah, very nice play, though. And he had just bought that ring of health there on the side shop, too, so he doesn't even end up losing that much.
Yeah. Oh, this is a kill on Undershock, though. They know Earthshaker's not here, and Undershock basically accepts his death at that point. So, good job from Spearbreaker moving in, and Viper and Jakiro have been back and forth. Their CS is basically even. Viper might get a slight advantage now. That's that kill. Is that expected, you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you look at the like the early right-click animations. If you're playing this Jakiro, you basically are relying on your dual breath getting a lot of the last hits because your animation is awful.
Well, he's ganging it to be charged. Him and MSS had a haste rune there. As it wears off. A little greedy, but with the haste rune, he's feeling comfortable. He backs it off. As top lane, how is Terribly continuing to do? 23-10 now. Lifesteal are 14-3. So, yeah, it's definitely picked up as you kind of expected. Here at this top lane trend. All 3 cores, in fact, doing very well now on the side of VGJ.Storm.
Yeah, that's going to mean a very early Vanguard here for Snaking. In fact, he'll get the bounty rune, and he can just about pick it up there.
Stop.
Almost into the vitality booster.
Duar's in trouble, actually. He's going to go down for sure. Slayer gets credit for the kill. So, again, the rotation of Earthshaker does pay off in the end.
Yeah, it's not going to be harsh on the hero. I'm actually a big fan of Earthshaker right now in terms of playing the hero. I think this game, in terms of the mid-game, is going to be difficult, but he has done a great job in terms of the lane rotations. Like, one problem I find with a lot of the supports that are being played right now is that it can be difficult to gank the mid lane. And Earthshaker is someone who at least doesn't suffer from that just because of like the range of initiation that he has. But a lot of our other supports that used to do that have just been nerfed to oblivion, like Earth Spirit, for example.
Yeah.
So it has opened up at least that opportunity for him.
Snake King just hugging the tower at this point. Oh, he's going to get a call in with the creep wave, but again, only got one spin eventually. And walks it off. He has that early Vanguard, as you mentioned, though. And with the Berserker's call especially, he can definitely tank the tower quite a bit, as we saw there. Middle lane, meanwhile, Undershock's in trouble. Viper Strike's already out. He throws out the dual breath as he dies. Just getting a little bit of harassment. But MSS, he's clearly proven to be an issue for this Jakiro now in that middle lane. We talked about both with the Earthshaker roaming a bit, but, of course, naturally, Spearbreaker, he's fantastic for that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Especially when the mid hero has 0 escape. I mean, certainly a tankier hero compared to most, but he's very slow.
Warlock, they're going to commit to him, but it go too deep. Slayer, he dies in return. MSS was nearby. They did not know that. And Palantino should be able to walk it off. You know, it kind of goes back to the point I was making in the draft, though, where Jakiro, with the pick of him, the Ice Path, decent against the Spearbreaker, he doesn't have it yet now. I know that's you don't usually expect it early on, but in hindsight, should he be maybe looking to level it up?
No, you can't even get it off in time against the Spearbreaker. It's like virtually impossible unless you have like perfect vision of him coming in. So he wouldn't even have a chance to cast it before just dying, and that's just going to slow down his speed, or like his farming speed, and his possibility to actually like push these towers if he wants to take stuff away from Liquid Fire. It's depressing, but it's virtually useless.
God, I am shocked Snake King lived there. I thought for sure he was dead. That Maledict ticking him down. It's even level 2 Maledict, but man, he managed to run it off, and one more tick would have killed him, but 3 heroes cannot take him out. That early Vanguard in the boots. And now he pops his shrine. He's going to go back into the laning phase. So it's, again, goes back to all 3 cores here on the Radiant side are looking pretty good. In fact, Terrorblade's the worst of them, but you have Axe and Viper, who definitely are snowballish of sorts. MSS, he's going to charge right on by Undershock. He ends up hitting Slayer, but now
he's crazy. He's trying to bait them.
This is that Spear Breaker mentality. Sometimes you got to go a little YOLO. Sometimes you go a little too much. Viper will take out Earthshaker in response, though, but MS
It felt like they didn't know Rezo was there. He just, like, chilling there and obliterates the Earthshaker, so that's totally fine in the end.
Makes it a trade. Yeah, Spear Breaker's still level 3. That's a little bit of a concern.
Terrifying rotation top the hasted Jakiro, the typical ganking mid.
Yeah, it's well, okay. He's going back in. He wants to kill SVG. It's just not going to work. So I heard the sarcasm in your voice there, Trent. And we see that. Not the scariest. Oh no! If he gets bashed, he gets bashed. Oh, that would have been something.
Good thing he is level 3, like liquid fire, level 3 dual breath. Very unlikely MSS is going to get a bash.
Yeah, only got one hit. Nice kill snaking though. Wow, that's 400 plus gold going the way of Slayer playing the Witch Doctor. So they finally take out the raid boss, it feels like, that is Axe.
Yeah, Zayas has been involved in every single kill. And they have a very nice kind of like chunky net worth distribution here. Yes, they're behind all 3 cores of the Radiant, but at least their supports are up a little bit here. With Zayas being 0, 1, and 5, so maybe he'll get a blink at a decent time, but again, how impactful will it be? If they're not that tanky, then yes, it's going to be alright, but you obviously need a lot of levels before Echo Slam is the threat that you want it to be.
Resolution, they're going to collapse on him. MSS nearby, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do enough. Resolution still has the Viper Strike, at least go for the turn kill. Snaking comes at the last second. Resolution, the Maledict to the last tick. That will be enough damage. Lifesteal is coming in just in case. Anyways, MSS, he's going to charge out. Liquid Fire Supply with the dual breath. He's going to run on fire, though. I think he'll survive. Snaking. Nope, never mind. He actually gets cut off by Wild Axes from Blizzy, so ends up dying himself. And numbers-wise, that actually plays out very well for Vega Squadron. 2 for 1. Terrorblade pushing top lane while that happens with the Metamorphosis, but now he's going to TP to the bottom as they're coming in.
Ty, if I was this Warlock right now, if I was SVG, well, he wants to soak some experience mid, but I would love to get some stacks off too, just because my Axe has the Vanguard, so we can actually farm Ancients. And then some slight buffs, of course, to the old support gold from the stacks. It's slowly becoming relevant.
I love that.
Careful not to make it OP.
I love as a support player, it's just all of a sudden you start hearing the cha-ching, cha-ching, you're just like,
exactly.
Yes, free
it's all
gold.
about the sound, dude.
Yeah, feels like, oh, okay, he doesn't have his ultimate. If he had an Echo Slam here, that could have been
he's got the tome. He has it.
You're right. He could use it and go. Not really finding the opening, though. MSS in the back lines. He is waiting. Zayak, will it pay off in the end? He's still trying to wait for it, but now they're not really on it, and he can't find the opportunity. Man, that was... I mean, I get why he didn't go, because it wasn't going to be the prettiest outcome, perhaps, but... so close. So close to being pretty.
It was a good choice not to.
Blizzy?
We'll use it now, though.
He's probably dead. Doesn't even have a TP. Does have his helm with a Dominator. If his Raindrop helping a little bit, but... Okay, yeah, Snaking gets picked off middle lane meanwhile. So, actually a successful trade for Vega. Again, Axe is the one that's having a slightly better farm.
Definitely.
Wow, he went straight Crimson Guard, by the way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, skipped it on that blink. See if he ends up regretting it. But, I don't know. There's a decent amount of physical damage with the Beastmaster and the Lifestealer.
Dire's structures
and I think he's thinking, like, if I had a blink right now, what am I going to do with it? Like, is there anyone that can follow up for my blink damage? Not really. If I'm diving that deep, my Spearbreaker is not a humongous threat at this point. I don't have cores with mobility items, so why not just try and, like, 5-man the Crimson Guard, or at least make myself super tanky, keep laning.
That's actually a really good point. I feel like this is a pub game. You know, he'd be getting flamed like crazy, but when you really break it down, it actually makes sense seeing an Axe not get a blink, at least this early on. I mean, he will get it, of course, but yeah, not necessarily prioritizing it as for those points that you brought up.
It's the same logic as to why he even buys the Vanguard first in the lane. It's like, what would a blink do for me right now? And an 11-minute Vanguard is fairly common. So, like, the fact that he has the Crimson Guard 11 minutes is kind of crazy.
But, you know, funny enough, or maybe not so much for him, he's in trouble again. However, Chaotic Offering, he buys enough time for a response of anything. MSS goes in the back lines onto the Earthshaker. They're going to take out Lifestealer. Earthshaker will be fine with another strike to secure the kill on Lifestealer. And yes, he'll just TP out. So Axe ends up dying in the end. That Maledict taking him down. But, again, he bought the time for the response, if anything.
Yeah, the only downside is that this tier 1's already gone, so they'll have to push pretty deep here if they want to put on some pressure. They should be able to get a little bit of damage there. And they need someone soaking up mid, though, because these creeps are just getting some free blows and sure one of these support heroes wouldn't mind being there right now, but the Golem will advance up here as Beastmaster comes to respond.
Dire's top tower is
Blizzy
under
just going to
attack.
do his best to push
Dire's
out the top lane
structures are fortified.
with those wild axes. Yeah, Viper going the helm of the Dominator. So Resolution, a slightly different build this game. What do you think? Is that maybe a reaction to having a Beastmaster? It could take his minions away, almost like the counterplay in a sense, or?
That certainly doesn't hurt, but I think the helm is just a super good item on Viper in most games, and they're playing a bit more grouped up too. Maybe even last game there were a couple of moments where he was like, man, I wish I had bought that helm that I buy sometimes. So it might just be something that's kind of like fresh in his head, because they were also pretty grouped in the previous match. But, well, my fears, man, maybe Zayats can save this game. I don't know. Blink Dagger 13 minutes feels real good on a Shaker. He has played fantastically.
Radiant's
Again,
middle
he's
tower
8 out of the
is under
9
attack.
kills he's been involved with from Vega Squadron.
It's like he heard you, Trent. He was like, you know what,
Yeah.
you're talking trash on me and how I'm not going to be useful this game. I'll show you, buddy. I'll
Yeah, I'll
show
get
you.
you.
That's what he's going for, at least.
Don't make Shaker too good, man. I can't handle any more nerfs on this hero. It's pretty fun to play right now.
I just want to see an Ags on him, man, just hopping around.
Dire's middle tower
crazy.
is
They
under
need to
attack.
reduce the time it takes to travel by like half for that item to be useful. It looks so cartoony.
I
right
saw
now.
I saw a guy get him in turbo mode the other day and just hopping around, you know, like a frog of sorts. Earthshaker, he is
Quite
coming
the
bottom.
skill.
This is opportunity for Storm now, or more so for Vega, but Storm will be ready to react again. The Crimson got okay, that's a Promaror. There's the Maledict. They're using a lot onto this axe initially. Zayak, that's not the prettiest Echo Slam. They will kill the axe, but Zayak does die in response, and they're also going to lose their Witch Doctor. Yeah, that was one of those really kind of. They clearly all weren't on the same page. They were instantly reacting. It was not the best.
Oh, and we'll get a pause.
Gonna talk it over. He's gonna go slap his teammate right there. He's like, "What were you thinking?" No, that was yeah. Again, Axes. I don't know. Maybe I'm downgrading a little bit to it because they did kill Axe, to be fair, and they lost 2 supports, so there is that. But that was also the show of the Blink Dagger, right?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. Bit rough there, but again, I think he just like knows that his opportunities are going to be pretty limited until they're like fully 5-manned, and I don't know. I would want to be hunting for the Terrorblade, but they see him up top. They have vision on him.
That's a good point. I almost forgot Terrorblade was in the game, not going to lie. But Terrorblade, Mask of Madness, interesting. Into a Yasha that he's going here. That's, I don't know, have I just not been watching the meta this last week or something? Because Mask of Madness Terrorblade, I feel like, is not the usual.
I can't say I've been privy to that one either, but I don't know. Need something to
Dire's
increase the
middle
farm
tower
speed.
is
That's the
under
item he's
attack.
going to go for. He had a really quick start, so might have just thought, yeah, I can just grab this.
Jakiro?
Dunzo.
Yeah, remember, that's a core Jakiro. Really have to remind yourself that. It's like usually to be like, oh, whatever, support Jakiro. But no, that's a mid Jakiro that just got picked off right there
Dire's bottom
by
tower
VGJ.Storm.
is
So
under
that
attack.
much more net worth gain as a result. And they're going to keep going tier 2 body. Yeah, Storm's the one that's
Radiant's
kind of
middle
playing the
tower is
aggressor
under attack.
despite having a Terrorblade that's
Dire's
just
bottom
farming
tower
elsewhere. So they're
is
kind of
under
running this
attack.
4-1 strategy. And it's working out in both cases, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. They're making all this room for the Lifestealer to get
Dire's
its
bottom
Radiance.
tower has been
So
denied.
it's gonna be all on Planimos, Palantimos to just like try and win this one. But what are his Infest friends? He's got the Earthshaker, so I guess that'll be maybe that's partly why they went for it. They were like, all right, Zayats, my bro, can you get an early Blink Dagger? Can we make this work? Can we win this game, me and you? We'll see. Maybe that's enough to add on to the damage to bring down some of these tankier heroes. You know, tanky guys, you love the feast up against them, but see ya.
So this is that issue coming to play. They picked a core Lifestealer now. He's going to invest his Siege Creep. He's going to try to take it over and run away. It's just not going to work. But what the point I was getting at, though, they have so many piercing BKB abilities, that charge being one of them as far as the bash goes. So you saw right there, he tried to TP out with the Rage, and that wasn't going to work at the top lane. So that Radiant's going to be slowed down. Zayak middle lane. He wanted to farm that last creep, but the charge going to connect eventually. Out comes a cast. No bounces, though. He will pop the Deathward. Crimson Guard mitigating plenty of damage, and that's going to keep MSS alive in the end. Oh, no, it will not. That's done at the last second. There's like 0.2 seconds maybe left on that TP. So they finally kill MSS in response. But, of course, overall looking decent for Storm as they got the life to their top lane. And Yawar just, he continues to be AFK farming.
Yeah. They're going to have the blink now on snaking, and I think this is where all the pieces come together. We're going to start looking for the Roche. We're going to play aggressive and get that last tier 2 in the mid lane, and maybe even try and take a tier 3 with a metamorphosis after that.
Jakiro
still doesn't even have his Necro. What happened to you? Poor Blizzy. I guess he's spreading a lot of the farm with the Shaker.
Yeah. He's down there in the network chart. I mean, he's not too far behind, kind of the middle of the pack, but yeah, of course, he went the Helm of the Dominator first, so Necro would like to have it. Jakiro, I go back to Jakiro, though, and you mentioned, I guess, Undershock has played it a bit recently for Vega Squadron. It's kind of a specialty of his, but hasn't really felt the most impactful yet. I mean, is this kind of what you expect from this hero, or did you think we're going to see more out of it?
I wasn't a big fan of the pick this game. I don't know. I think the idea of, like, I think he was trying to be a backup to some of the aggression. Well, bottom lane, Zayat. Oh, maybe he'll be all right. MS, this is one getting turned around on.
Oh, chaotic offering, though, at the last second. Echo Shift, or Echo Slam, excuse me, is not going to be enough to save the day. Earthshaker does TP out, however, so we lose the Witch Doctor, kill the Spear Breaker, and that was a lot used for all that. Chaotic offering included.
I think the way I look at Jakiro is that it's very similar to the Viper in that, like, you enable a lot of these sieges and everything, but you can also play very reactionary. So, like, if a Spearbreaker charges in with someone else, you can throw down this Ice Path and Macro Pyre, and you just, like, absolutely shred through people. And obviously you can stop sieges pretty well, too, as they will grab Blizzy here, too. Man, they're just falling one by one here.
Earthshaker's coming in, though.
You're looking for.
Earthshaker's coming in with Lifestealer infested. Will he find the opening? Remember, he doesn't have Echo Slam, and they do pick up Blizzy. And now Zayak's in trouble. He's going to be gone with another strike. He's dead. All of a sudden, Palantimus is like, wait a second, this is a bad idea. He goes down as a result, gets taunted back in. SVG actually ends up getting the double kill, but again, it's similar to that bottom fight that happened earlier. You can just tell Vega Squadron just seems a little scattered as far as when they should really be initiating and if they should be going in, frankly.
The golem from SVG had the immolation burning, and his blink dagger was canceled, so he couldn't get the initiation in there with the infest.
That hurts.
Yeah, or else there might have been a turnaround play. And like this, that was actually a blink reveal from the Jakiro too, where he blinked in and got that ice path to try and save Blizzy there on the Beastmaster. But you've now invested a Yules and a blink dagger into this Jakiro, and it just does not feel that incredible.
Like, to me, the one thing about a Jakiro that really shines, especially in that support role, is that he's constantly split pushing. But I think that the biggest thing with that, though, too, is because he is a support that could do that, where if you're playing as this core, it seems like he's trying to farm, and they're trying to find an opportunity here as the Aegis is picked up by Yuar. Going for Viper, the Maledict is not going to be nearly enough. They didn't get enough damage onto him after the fact. And so he actually ends up escaping due to some great teamwork there. The Force Staff's MSS buys a little bit of a distraction as well. And they managed to all get out. So Vega Squadron thought they might have at least had a pick out of that Roshan kill, but they don't even get that. And again, the desperation kind of continues. I know they're only down 6,000 net worth, so it's not like they're being ridiculously overwhelmed here, but it feels like when you have a Terrorblade that's top farm, you know, Viper, the cores are all looking very good on Storm, and that continues to be the case. So it's almost like a bigger lead than it really suggests here.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it's also very early on, but it is starting to pick up a little bit here for Vega Squadron. Blizzy starting to get into those Necros. He's going to go back for the level 1, or he's going to keep the level 1 Necro rather than go back for the Blink Dagger. Snaking will find him. Zayat, can he turn this?
Oh, it's good timing from Zayak. It's like he almost expected the Spear Breaker, so he's waiting for the Fissure. Now, it won't matter in the end, but still, good attempt. But now they know he's here. However, they're not going to be able to find him unless he goes this way. And it looks, oh, the blink at the last second. They know he's here, though. Will they actually chase? No. Not worth it, they say.
Oh, they will get that Alpha Wolf, though.
Showed him.
Give me that gold. Oh, yeah. 200. Easy. That's a kill, basically.
Viper's back to the bottom lane now. We'll continue pushing that out. As Lifestealer was even farming the Radiant jungle. He's just desperate for any kind of location. Trying to find that... the freedom, but it's very difficult, especially when you have a Spear Breaker constantly going around. Of course, Axe now with that blink. Always got to be looking out for that. He at least has a medallion picked up. A Spear Breaker, he is going to collapse on a Lifestealer, however, just says hello. He'll taunt away.
Forces rotations as the Beastmaster comes in, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Dire's top tower is under
Well played
attack.
there. Picks up a double damage rune. Warlock's being spam pinged in the middle lane, but Axis here for the response, catches Earthshaker. Blizzy throws out those wild axes. Earthshaker, he's definitely dead. Metamorphosis form activated from Yawar on top of this chaotic offering coming out onto the Eastmaster. They'll pick up the Witch Doctor. And now Lifestealer went too far up once again. Palantino's going to be heavily slowed. He infests the creep at the last second. Good job at Beastmaster keeping it close. But the Berserkers call into the Colding Blade as they kill the boar and Lifestealer himself. He has a buyback, but really, what is that going to do? It feels like he has to, I guess. But this is at least tier 3, possibly more. Macropire Ice Path, though, going to stall them as much as they can. Of course, Jakiro is good for that, as Yawar will send an illusion to zone them out. They're going to kill tier 3. They are going to go for the melee racks. Primal Roar hitting Axe. Not really the most follow-up initiation, though. Of course, a tough target in himself. Palantino's, you got to be careful, man. That would be a dieback if you go down here. So, yeah, keeping his distance. Blizzy, uh-oh, he's Viper Strike. Nice fissure. It just won't be enough, though. The dot's too much. And now the melee racks continues to melt away.
Yeah, even if Beastmaster were to buy back, he wouldn't have anything there, so he just buys out.
Yowar's like, thanks for the life.
Middle barracks has fallen.
I'll take that. He has an Aegis
He
assault
just
type.
deny. Valentino's just denied the racks.
All right, there you go. Prevent it.
Dire's bottom shrine
Says
is
I
under
got
attack.
you. But yeah, that's more positive for Storm, and God, this Mask of Madness Terrorblade. He's attacking so fast. Have it active. Well, the Blade Mail snaking, bringing Palantino's back. Not necessarily doing the most, though, and Axe is actually in a susceptible spot. He's probably dead. All right. Well, snaking, overstepping a little bit. Not really with the team, but the big picture, again, Storm got plenty out of that after that mid-fight took place. It's like we're still just waiting for it, though, right? I mean, that whole Lifestealer Infest Bomb inside of Earthshaker with the big Echo Slam, like, it's still there. The possibility is definitely still there for Vega.
I don't know. They're so rich now, though. Like, grab. They actually kill Rezo.
They got
there
him.
you go.
Yeah.
That's a grab. That's not bad. But I look at that Infest picture and I just see this Terrorblade who's gonna have Scotty. By the time that happens, it's gonna be very tanky.
Keeping hope, damn it. And they drop it to 8,000 net worth there. So, I mean, that was a good pick. Palantino's.
Yeah,
gonna
this
get him a
is a
Solar
really nice
Crest.
play from Undershock. Blinking forward aggressively like that blindly, just because, like, who's going to respond if people were still dead from VGJ?
Yeah. The upheaval slow, though, makes it difficult to pursue. And they have to back off. What's going on back here? That would be, well, Witch Doctor going after Warlock, the Maledict. SVG, nice Glimmer Cape, though. Puts on a sentry, he wants this kill, damn it. And he'll get it in the end. Plus 75 damage, right clicks helps. But probably dead in response now. And Jakiro did get picked up by Yawar. This game has just really picked up all of a sudden. 40 hero kills in 25 minutes now. Action in multiple spots. By killing Jakiro there. And you mentioned that Eye of Scotty on Terrorblade. It's now just about finished because of that kill especially.
4-1 and 7. How many last is he at now? 239. Well ahead of anyone on his own squad.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Take out the shrine here. So I'm trying to think, you know, answers here for Vega Squadron outside of that Wombo combo. And Lifestealer going the Solar Crest.
Dire's top shrine
Was that the
has
best
fallen.
choice, you think?
Yeah, I mean, standard build, of course. Radiant Solar Crest at this point. But against this team, Viper and Terrorblade, you're going to find a lot of value in that. So certainly the best option. Gives them a chance at a Desperation Roche, too, perhaps.
True. That could be a big play. Next one would be Cheese on top of that. Noticed Viper just got, was it Viper? Yeah, Viper just got the BKB.
Yeah.
It's being delivered.
Oh, yo, MSS, my boy. That is a Meteor Hammer. Now we're talking.
Really?
The one true item.
I mean, there's some heroes it's kind of naturally, you know, Naga Siren definitely comes to mind. I've seen it like an Arc Warden, actually. It's pretty crazy, the few Arc Warden games, but is Spearbreaker one of those? I don't know, that feels...
Radiant are
Hey, he's got enough
standing.
stun to
Maybe,
channel it, right? So, it'll work.
I guess.
Pretty much. I don't know. The stats are actually pretty amazing on the item. And then you can actually farm with it, too. So Zayat's
Well,
Fisher.
nothing's going to save him here. Maybe they will. The Chaotic Offering. Big Chaotic Offering with the Fatal Bonds. The Proper Roar locking on Viper for the time being. Valentimos has a rage up throughout this. Some Akbar put down as well. They kill the Spirit Breaker, but it's coming at a massive cost. They're going to lose 3, including the Lifestealer, who's now dead for a minute with no buyback, and VGJ.Storm absolutely knows this. They're going to go beeline right for the middle lane now.
Yeah, meta up in 20 seconds. Time to finish out this Rax and probably take a second one as well. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Dire's middle barracks are under
Storm's
attack.
playing it cleanly. And that was, Vega trying to make a play there with that smoke. Blizzy, she's just dead. It has not been Blizzy's game
Middle
here
barracks are under attack.
on this Beastmaster. And that's definitely tier 3. I mean, that's probably Rax, right? So that's going to be 2 sets of Rax at this point.
Top tower is under attack.
Unless Undershot can somehow do something against that, but his Aeon Disc is currently on
Dire's
cooldown,
top
so he's a little
tower
scared
is
now. And you have Terribly doing a hell of a job
Dire's
keeping
top
Zayak
barracks are
away
under attack.
with that Blink initiation with his illusion. MSS is charging Zayak, by the way. He's not here just yet,
Dire's
but something
top
tells
barracks
me.
are under attack.
Oh, look at Resolution.
Running after him.
What does he do? He can't do a damn thing. Oh boy, that's awkward.
Dire's
I mean,
middle
they're just going
barracks
for
are
the
under
finish here.
attack.
And why not? Oh, the great call. It hits Lifestealer as well. That should all but do it. Valentimos, it's just so many BKB piercers. That rage is not enough. However, the Infest will barely keep him alive, though. Great play at the last second to stay alive as he hops in Witch Slayer. Or Witch Doctor, excuse me. Oh. But, I mean, VGJ.Storm, they're having some fun, clearly. They're going past the objectives for that. Maybe going a little too deep, though. Start falling back for now.
Snake King's almost back in the fight with his buyback.
Yeah. VG's actually out. Wow. That was a play. It was just a casual, insane getaway at the end from Warlock.
Roche will respawn in 1 second here. They want to hop on in the pit.
Invisibility.
Did they see it? I think, okay, yeah, they did. Valentimos is here. Yeah, if you're Vega, it's like, why not just try to be desperate? Because
Yeah,
what do you have
this
to
game's
lose?
pretty over for you. Like, fighting in the pit is actually very good for your team.
True.
You obviously have the Echo Slam, you have a Jakiro. So, best chance.
Yeah, this actually might work.
Oh, look at MSS, though. He's an Invis rune of all the times. He's going to find this. They have a sentry nearby. They might catch him just as he's blinking in.
Oh, or Snake King. Okay, I was a little confused there. Anyways, Roshan
Oh, yeah. My bad.
is going down. It's picked up by Palantir with the last second Chaotic Offering. Hits Viper with the BKB, though. He's just going to right-click down the Beast Match. The Echo Slam after the side right before he dies. Though on Zayak, it sets up a Tool Breath on Spirit Breaker as well as the Axe. Not nearly enough, though, so they take out Palantimos after he got the Aegis. He's trying to run out. He's got a cheese. He can't even use it, though. The call keeps him in place. Double kill for Snake King. I mean, as we stressed, it was a desperate play, and they kind of had to. But as you would expect, it doesn't work out in the end. So probably the game-winning push now coming out from Storm at this point.
I really liked the Terrorblade pick this game. I think it was an excellent part of the draft to grab it. It just made this really awkward choice for Vega, where it felt like no matter what they picked, they couldn't really win the lanes. I know, you think of Jakiro as a pretty good laning hero, someone who can just like win most matchups, but then he like, kind of falls off, right? He's very Viper-ish in that situation. But the Terrorblade just made things really awkward because they couldn't go for this Lifestealer mid anymore, or else they just give like way too much to the Terrorblade. And obviously they made enough space that Yuwar just became a complete monster, and this is a hero that can easily win you a game with an early lead.
There you go. GG, well played. It's called. It will be 2-0 Storm, so it will be good cop, bad cop here. That was a good cop answer. My bad cop answer. Lifestealer was an awful pick this game. I think that just goes without saying. I mean, they picked it up into an Axe and a Warlock already, and then on top of that, then they because it was a second pick, they even went the Spirit Breaker, and Lifestealer just could not have any impact in this game, and as their main core.
He wasn't off to a good start, yes, in terms of the draft, but I think more importantly, he also wasn't enabled by the other picks. There was no natural Infest carrier in the sense that like someone who doesn't need a Blink Dagger, or someone that can also like play well into this lineup. I mean, I'm not saying there's an easy answer. You think of like Queen of Pains or something like that. They would have had their own problems being squishy or something, but there wasn't really much chance for the Lifestealer to do anything. I guess you are correct, though. If you are going to go for this like Radiance build and everything like that, where the Lifestealer is this true one, going into already 2 heroes that are going to cause those problems is a rough game.
Setting up for a rough time, and that's exactly what it was. So, all right, we got this series in the books. VGJ.Storm 2-0, looking good. So responding after their initial loss to VG Gaming to 0-2, but that puts them at that 1-1 record now. Vega Squadron, of course, at 0-2. Again, there's 6 teams in each group. Only 5 of the 6 actually do advance on. So only 1 team gets eliminated. Right now, Vega, having to be careful in that bottom spot currently. But it's just day number 1. Still a whole nother day ahead here for the round-robin stage. And also on top of that, though, we do have our final series coming up on this stream. And I'm trying to double-check exactly what it was.
Who are they going to give us?
Yeah, who are they going to get? It's Mineski versus Infamous is the plan, at least. Now, I know Mineski just finished their series against Secret pretty recently right here, so might be a little bit of a break, but I've also been told they've been doing pretty good as far as just keeping matches going. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated, but Mineski versus Infamous is going to be our next match. That's set to take place in another best of 2 in our final one of the night. So looking forward to that one. But Trent and I, myself being Break CPK, will see you guys shortly after a break. And again, like I said, if there's any longer delays, I'll let you guys know as soon as possible. But congratulations once again to Storm here with a round-robin victory of 2-0 over Vega Squadron. So you're tuning into the MDL major coverage group stages. Break CPK joined by Trent. Stay tuned, guys. Our next series coming up shortly.